Janine and I started Echidna Walkabout because we strongly believed people wanted to see our wildlife, and particularly they wanted to see wildlife in the wild. We wanted to expose people to a very broad range of environments that exist in southern Australia. Mungo is one of them. It's an arid area to the northwest of Melbourne. But on the eastern side of Victoria, you've got the Pacific Ocean on the east and the Southern Ocean on the south. Those two oceans interact with each other to create quite a wet environment. And it's a perfect mix, I think. And in both places, you can see lots of wildlife. Guiding is about bringing people closer to wildlife and landscapes. It is about interpretation and looking at the wildlife, whatever it is that's in front of you, and trying to work out what it wants to do. But in the end, it's about listening and watching and hearing and thinking, how is that animal communicating with me? As we take people out to see the biodiversity and wildlife of East Gippsland, and there's spectacular biodiversity, the coastline, the mountains, the ranges, the tall forests. We get to see at least 3 different species of what we call macropods, the hopping kangaroo type animals. The goannas, the giant monitor lizards. I've seen them so big that they're as big as your leg. And all sorts of different birds, the lyrebird and the king parrot. And another thing that we see over there is the platypus. So that's the wonders of East Gippsland. It's got a bit of everything. What Mungo's got is something very, very special. It's got the earliest discovery of human burials on Earth was found here. It occurred about 45,000 years ago. Lake Mungo itself is part of a much bigger dry lake system which once was full with water, but it's completely dry now. When you're walking across a landscape and your guide looks down and says, let's just take a look at this, and there's a stone artefact sitting on the ground, and people look at it and they say, well, what's that? And I say, well, that's something that was made by a human 20, 30, 40,000 years ago, and there it is just sitting on the ground. This is someone's life. This is how they lived, and they connect with that. The bird life here at Mungo is extra special. Probably the most spectacular of all is something that everybody wants to see here, the pink cockatoo, that sometimes appears on the horizon and then it lifts its magnificent crest up with its beautiful pink wings, and it's just a magic bird. We also get cockatoos and parrots up here. You can often see very large flocks of emus, and you can sometimes get a male emu with anywhere up to 10 or 12 chicks following it around. Ever since we've started operating, we've tried to be sustainable. We're trying to make a big impact on stopping the decline of koalas in southern Australia. We're seeing koalas disappear right in front of our eyes. Part of what they pay for each trip actually goes into the Koala Clancy Foundation to keep it operating. A couple came to me a number of years ago. It was their 50th wedding anniversary. I took them to a place late in the day where you look out over Mungo, and I put them down in a couple of stools looking down over the dry lake bed, and we said, we want you just to sit there, the two of you, for your 50th wedding anniversary. Those two felt something that they'd never felt before in their life. The land spoke to them. The thousands of generations that had lived there before them spoke. And they came to me afterwards and they said, that was one of the best things we've ever done. But it gives you a feeling of what Mungo and what understanding the world about you and taking your time does to help people to appreciate the environment that they live in.